Woo! Alright guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Lucky. If you're joining me for the first time, alright, my name is Lucky and I'm a forex trader. Alright, in this channel I actually share important analysis. Alright, probably I'm actually looking for a particular sentiment in the pair, so I share the analysis with you all so that you can be able to know exactly my predictions towards a particular pair, right? So you can also opt in, you understand? So basically I trade GU, EU, gold and US30, right? So I actually saw a kind of opportunity that I want to actually form on US30. That is why I want to share with you all. Alright, basically I'm a swing trader actually, but I also day trade as well. So in this trading analysis is a form of swing trading, but you know I have my own day trading strategies as well. Okay, so basically I'm going to brief you on US30. Alright, US30, and tell you what I'm actually looking out for on US30, right? And I want you all to listen and also try to learn from this. If you're joining me for the first time, my name is Lucky once again, and I would like you all to subscribe to this channel and also share to your friends for them to benefit. Alright, let's go. Now looking at, basically what I do is I look at the monthly time frame. I go to the monthly time frame to see what is actually what is just the macro map for the particular currency. Alright, so that's why I go to the monthly to see the map of the trend, the overall trend, just like a map, you understand? So I scale down to the weekly to see the trend more clear. Alright, to see the trend more clear. Then I come down to daily time frame to see the intermediate trend, if it actually aligns with the monthly and the weekly time frame, you understand? Then I move to the 4-hour time frame, you understand? If I want to swing trade, note that if I want to swing trade, I move to the 4-hour time frame. Then I wait for my confluences. Alright, yes, I have my own confluences. I wait for my rules. So if the confluence has been met, and I'll trade in line with the bias of the higher time frame. Alright, I'll trade in line with the bias of the higher time frame. If I want to day trade, I will now still scale down to 1 hour, still on that same bias of the higher time frame. Then I will look out for some particular pattern, alright, or particular trend, you get. So don't worry, let's go. Let's see. Now if you go to the monthly time frame here, what can you see? US30 has been bullish quite well, alright, forming higher highs and higher lows. And if you look closely, in a market, higher highs is just like this, alright, you understand? So it's just like this. So now price actually broke this higher high, alright, forming this new higher high here. Then it's already coming down to retrace, alright. So I know that okay, it has not still come to this level here, alright. It's still rallying down, alright. That's what the monthly time frame is telling me. So I will go to the weekly time frame to see the exact clearer picture. Now go to the weekly time frame. What can you see here? Man, gold US30 has been bullish quite well, moving higher highs and higher lows. Then change of what trend, you understand? Now look at something. This is where my line is here, right? Price is still, where is the current price? It's still here, alright. See how this zone, do you understand? Normally I'll use lines to represent that. So I know that okay, US30 is still in a downtrend. That is what I know about US30 still in a downtrend. So what I'll do is I'll come down to the daily time frame to see the intermediate trend. Now this is where daily time frame become more interesting. You can see it's mostly downtrend, alright. downtrend. So what will you do here now? Now you look at the intermediate trend. All right, you look at the intermediate trend, you look at the current, where price is currently. All right, so you know that price is here currently. Okay, now basically I use a tool that actually helped me as well, Fibonacci tool. All right, so from this swing low to this swing high. Now retracement, once you take, in a downtrend moves lower lows and lower highs. Uptrend is higher highs and higher lows. Are you understanding? Now look at this. I took my fib from here, that's the swing high down to the swing low, and look, price retraced to the zone of what? The zone of 0.382 and 0.5, which is here. Okay, the red one is 0.618. Do you understand? So now that is where price retraced. All right, that's where price retraced. So I'm still expecting US30 to come down here. You understand? Right, something like this, you get. So that's what I'm expecting US30 to do. Okay, now like I said, I will come to the 4-hour time frame, because US30 is still actually bearish. All right, and the daily time frame has confirmed to me that yes, this guy is still bearish, which it came down here, retested to the zone of 0.382 and 0.5, between them. Why did I say it's between them? Because it aligns with the structure. If you see very well, this is support is here, you understand, and this is resistance. Do you understand? So that's it. It's lining up with the support on resistance, because support is here, this is support, and now this is resistance. Do you understand? So now coming down to the 4-hour time frame. Now in this 4-hour time frame, this is the time frame. If I want to swing trade, I wait for my confluences to be met before I will enter the trade. All right, yeah, I wait for my confluences, that's my entries, which I'll be talking about it later on. All right, but which I'll be talking later on. So now what I'll do is just wait for my confluence to actually, and my confluence and rules to be met before I enter for a sell on US30. All right, but if you want to further move, if I want to day trade it, I'll come to the 1 hour. You can see. So I'm still expecting US30 to rally up down here. All right, so my confluence strategy is, that's my confluence. Before I'll be able to enter the trade, I'll wait for my confluence strategy to actually form before I enter. All right, but I just want you to know that US30 is actually in a bearish movement. So depending on your strategy you want to trade, just make sure that you don't go against the trend. All right, if you find this video helpful, please make sure you subscribe, and also drop your comment or your thoughts towards this. And please, I'll be dropping latest I'll be dropping important updates. If I actually see an opportunity on a pair, I will make sure I drop it for you all. Please make sure you subscribe to my channel, because this channel is going to be more educative, and I actually promise you that. All right, please make sure you subscribe. All right, make sure you subscribe. Don't worry, later on I'll be dropping content about my entries, strategies to use, and also add fundamentals to it. Don't worry, I will actually do that. All right, please make sure you subscribe to this channel, and also share to your friends, for them to benefit from this channel. Right, I'll catch you in my next video. Peace out, guys.